So, I kid you not, a figurine stylistic choice idle gacha game is coming out to the global market. The gacha game Alchemy Stars actually has its official PC client now available, and apparently Tales of Luminaria is being called dead on arrival by Japanese players and is being review bombed. Let's talk about it. What is up, everyone? It's Daikin-san here, bringing you another episode of Gacha Cover, and man, we got some things to talk about today. As far as a figurine gacha game coming out that's going to be idle based, and then of course the PC client for Alchemy, and then of course Tales of Luminaria getting review bombed, and it just came out. It's so hard to talk about that, but it's something we gotta talk about today. Anyway, let's go and get started with today's show. So Figure Fantasy is going to be a 3D figurine style mobile game that's going to be of the idle gacha nature, and it's going to be coming to the global market real soon. The game apparently features a 3D miniaturized story that is about the physically based rendering technology that restores every inch of the fighters with high precision, perfectly presenting their real-world material textures and light refractions. You'll be able to collect hundreds of figurines with the process simulated described as you placing an order to purchase a blind box with a single tap, tear up the paper box, and receive a surprise. The game will feature an original custom display cabinet system where you can customize and create a unique private otaku zone where you have hundreds of themes for you to choose from, such as space, sci-fi, and middle-aged castles. Figure Fantasy combat will take place on a 3x3 grid where you can set positional covers, view exclusive ultimate animations, and engage in combat strategies presented in a 3D format. Here, you'll be able to try out different combinations to deploy your figurines to help you gain the upper hand in battle. These different character archetypes include mix, defenders, vanguards, militarists, helpers, and specialists. And of course, because this is an idle mobile game, you can say goodbye to tedious tasks as ordinary levels can be cleared with a single tap. The resources you gain will also be there while you are offline, so there's nothing to worry about as far as being interrupted. So yeah, that is Figure Fantasy. Let me know what you guys think. Idle games usually typically aren't my cup of tea, but I know there is a market for people that actually like that. You know, they don't have time to really play, but they still want that sense of progression. So you could do that by playing games like this. Idle games definitely have a huge market. I know one of the bigger ones is AFK Arena, and they get plenty of collabs with that game. So of course there is a target audience for players that actually do like this type of game. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about Figure Fantasy. So recently it has been announced that Alchemy Stars can officially be played on a PC client via DMM. Now if you don't know what DMM is basically like a Japanese client that allows you to play like web browser and like mobile games and stuff like that. It probably does more, but that's pretty much the function of it that you need to know that allows you to do. Now the only downside of this is the US and Taiwan accounts of the game apparently can't use this. However, there is English subtitles for the other versions of the game. So if you happen to have another version of the game that isn't the US or Taiwan version, then you can utilize this and actually play the game on PC. And if you haven't started the game yet, then this is something you can also look forward to doing. Now, what does the PC version actually have? Let's talk about it. So it stated the DMM version, of course, means you can play Alchemy Stars on PC without needing an emulator. That is to be expected. And the PC client has English language. But it says you can use any server except the US and Taiwan version of the game. The PC client is so smooth and its performance is actually way better and faster. So it's pretty much saying that it's better than probably the mobile version of the game. There's some guides and stuff for it as well that's out there. And it says there's also rewards you can get when you log onto the PC version. There's going to be 300 Amber is what it's called, 1-star flare, 1 special star flare, 120 prism, and 500 nitium. So I'm guessing you're getting special rewards they're giving out. This isn't the first time that they actually gave out rewards when it comes to actually playing the PC version DMM. There's sometimes special rewards for like going to that version of the game just to get, you know, just to entice people to play the PC client, to get people to port over there and stuff like that. They sometimes give little extra rewards and stuff. So yeah, it's not gonna be too crazy, just a few rewards. You get, of course, a better, smoother experience of the game. From what I've been hearing, it's pretty much a like smooth 60 as long as your computer can actually handle the game. But because it's not being emulated, it's going to be a lot easier to run this game than any other emulation game that you actually try to play on, say like via BlueStacks or a Moo player or something like that. It's going to be a lot easier to run this on your computer than say those. So get this, apparently for Tales of Luminaria, Japanese players or players in general are calling the game quote unquote dead on arrival. So apparently there was a chart about the revenue of the game and it was placing pretty far down the list as far as the initial release. It was in the place of, I want to say, they said somewhere 361st place is where it was at, and then 114th place as far as the terms of the RPG numbers. Now, apparently these numbers aren't necessarily bad, but it's bad in the terms of it actually being a brand new release. So because of this, they were comparing it to other titles that were coming out, and some of them were getting like 12th place, 20th place and 8th place, and this game on its release was already sitting down at 361st place, not making that much money. On top of the game already just not having a good sense of presence, with everything we were talking about before, with the game not having the Japanese voices inside of the English, and of course now the game is even getting review bombed on, say, like the App Store. Just reading off a few of these reviews here, the first one being from Sky Vanisher saying, I was really liking the visuals, the story, the characters, music. However, the significant downsides of the game is the home menu UI. The combat UI strictly portrays gameplay, only English VA. Combat experience is not snappy, long load times, and I'm not sure I can say more, but I'll stop there while it was already hot on the floor. Another one by Raleigh Reganade said, I wanted to really like this. Really, I did. The game at first glance looked really good, but so much here clashes hard. Everything seems like it's set up for casual play when it clearly wants you to get excited during combat and get immersed. Get this game in landscape mode and give mode more control. So another big thing that I've been hearing people talk about and complain about as far as the game go is people actually just don't like when games actually lock you into a certain style of play. So as far as Tales of Luminaria goes, it locks you into portrait mode. So you have to play your game like this, up and down. You can't play it in landscape mode, which is people prefer to play their games like this, so you can like have like the controls like this and you can play like this, but apparently you have to play it like this. So some people just don't like to play like that, and that is another big thing that people don't like about the game right now. Last review, just to wrap things up here, AB stated the portrait mode is a bad choice for this kind of game. Combat sucks, doesn't play like a Tales game, and should be dual audio. Plot so far is nothing compared to Historia, which has incredibly good plot points, and the menu is unintuitive. There is very little good here. The graphics look okay and the music is okay. That is about it. I probably will delete after a few more days. I will be up to date my review at that point. So yeah, it really just sucks to hear that, you know, a game just isn't being well received as soon as it comes out. I know that's always a scary situation for developers when people aren't well receiving your game title, and of course it's not performing how you want it. This is very bad news for when a game first come out, and this is how you see a bunch of gacha games when they come out. They end up at least dying or the servers closing within the first year of their release. It happens to a lot of gacha games and they come and go all the time. So hopefully this isn't the case. You know, Tales is a big, not big, but is a well-known IP at this time. And yeah, this is just something that they tried to do again. They tried to make another Tales game. What they just had Tales of Story, because Tales of Story came out, I believe, last year. So the fact that they're making another one, people are really comparing it to that game, and they really aren't just liking the difference. You know, when you have something that people feel like is okay, and then you go and try to make something different, but it doesn't feel like what makes that game the game, that's when you start turning heads against your fan base, and they really aren't vibing with the type of changes that you're actually making. Anyway, that is it for today's show of Gacha Cover, guys. Let me know how you guys feel about Figure Fantasy. How do you guys feel about that game? Is this something you'll actually try out just because, I don't know, the characters look good, or the figure characters or whatever, and the style is the choice of the game? Even though it's an idle game, would you give it a shot? Also, how do you guys feel about the Alchemy stars? Have you tried the game before? If you have played the game, will this make you go back to the game via that there is a PC version? Or if you haven't played the game, is this going to make you try to play the game because there's an official PC client that's going to be so smooth and is going to be easier to play on like lower end computers than say like emulation and stuff? Also, let me know how you guys feel about the Tales of Luminaria situation. I know it's very troublesome right now for the developers, and of course, just players aren't being happy. Let me know how you guys feel about that situation overall. Yeah, it is what it is on that. Hopefully they can fix things, and hopefully people enjoy the game in the near future. Anyway, if you like anything I had to say today, drop me a like. I greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, follow me on my socials. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn notifications so you know the next video goes live. As always, my name is Daikin, and I'll see you next time. Signing out.